Remember HAL 9000? That AI from 2001? A Space Odyssey?
Oh yeah, creepy and cool all at the same time.
Totally. And for a while, that's what we thought of when someone said AI. But
hmm
things have changed, right?
Definitely. I mean, AI is everywhere now, even in our work tools. And that's a big part of what we're diving into today. You've given us a bunch of articles on Microsoft 365, especially this Copilot thing.
Right. Everyone's talking about Microsoft 365 Copilot, and we're here to cut through the hype and figure out what it actually does.
Exactly. Is it the real deal, or are we getting a little ahead of ourselves?
Well, let's start with the basics. What exactly is Copilot? I mean, how do they describe it?
Well, they're calling it your AI assistant within Microsoft 365.
Okay, that makes sense. But what does that actually mean? Does it, like, write my emails for me?
Well, it can do that, or at least help you draft them. But it's more than just email. It integrates with all kinds of Microsoft 365 apps, Word, Excel, PowerPoint, even Teams.
So no more all-nighters wrestling with PowerPoint.
Maybe not. It's designed to make you more efficient, not replace you completely. There's even this new dedicated space called Copilot Pages just for collaborating with AI on projects.
Okay, hold on. So we're talking AI, drafting emails, crunching numbers in Excel,
Yeah.
all while I sip my coffee. Give me an example, because this sounds both amazing and kind of hard to imagine.
Sure, let's start with Excel. Imagine being able to analyze not just numerical data, but text just by using natural language prompts.
Hold up. So I can, like, ask Excel a question in plain English.
Exactly. You could say something like, identify sales trends from customer reviews, and boom, you have insights you would spend hours digging for manually.
Wow, that would be a game changer. Oh, I mean, I consider myself an Excel whiz, but I'm not exactly a data scientist.
And here's the kicker. They've even integrated Python.
Okay, Python in Excel. So for those of us who can barely sort a column, this is huge, right?
It's a big deal. It means even users without coding experience can perform advanced analysis. Imagine uncovering hidden correlations, building predictive models, all within Excel.
So it's not just simplifying things. It's like handing over the keys to a data-powered spaceship.
Exactly. It's about making complex analysis accessible to everyone.
Okay, but what about presentations? Can this Copilot work its magic on PowerPoint too?
Absolutely. Think about those late nights you've probably pulled trying to make your presentations flow. Copilot can help you build a compelling narrative from just a simple prompt. Yep. You give it your core message, and it'll generate a structured outline, even suggest topics and transitions. And with this new brand manager thing, it can even make sure everything aligns with your brand guidelines.
That's wild. It's like having a design-savvy coworker who never sleeps. Speaking of never sleeping, let's talk about meetings, those black holes of productivity. Can Copilot actually make meetings better?
This is where it gets interesting. Copilot in Microsoft Teams. It analyzes both the spoken words and the chat happening at the same time.
Wait, so it's listening to everything?
It's paying attention to everything. Imagine this. You ask, what were the action items from that last meeting? Copilot pulls them up instantly from both the conversation and the chat.
Wow, it's like an AI note-taker who never misses a beat. And speaking of things we want to keep track of, email. I mean, we all lose hours to our inboxes every day. Can this Copilot thing actually save me from email overwhelm?
You're preaching to the choir. But seriously, that's where the Prioritize My Inbox feature in Outlook comes in. It analyzes your emails, but get this, it learns your role, your communication patterns.
So it's not just sorting by sender or subject line.
No way. It understands who you prioritize, what topics matter most, and it helps you cut through the noise.
So it's like having a personal assistant who's learned my communication style and knows what to prioritize. That's next level inbox management. But sometimes I'm working in Word and I need to pull in information from other places like meeting notes, emails, even stuff in PDFs. Can Copilot help with that kind of cross-application juggling act?
Absolutely. They're updating Copilot in Word to seamlessly integrate content from all over your Microsoft 365 world. Imagine this. You're in a Word doc, you need some data from a spreadsheet. Boom, pull it right in. Need to reference a point from a Teams chat? Done. You can even incorporate text from scanned documents, all without leaving Word.
Talk about streamlining. Okay, we've covered Word, Excel, PowerPoint, Teams, Outlook. Is there anything Copilot can't do? What about OneDrive?
OneDrive is interesting because it's like this gold mine of information, but sometimes actually finding what you need is a challenge. And that's where Copilot comes in. Imagine searching through all your files using natural language, like asking, find me the latest project proposal from Sarah.
Okay, that's handy, but I can already do that with the Windows search bar, can't I?
You can, but Copilot takes it a step further. Let's say you need to compare different versions of a presentation. Copilot can summarize each one, highlight the changes, even pull out key differences in their findings.
No more clicking through endless files trying to remember what I was even looking for. This is like having a research assistant who lives in my computer. Okay, let's shift gears for a second. All of this sounds incredibly impressive, but we've mostly been focusing on individual productivity. What about Copilot's impact on businesses as a whole?
That's a great point. Copilot isn't just about making individual tasks easier, it's about transforming how businesses actually operate. One of the most interesting developments here is Copilot agents.
Copilot agents. Okay, now this is where it gets really futuristic. Give me an example. How would a business actually use a Copilot agent?
Okay, let's say you've got a knowledge base in SharePoint. It's full of valuable information, product specs, customer data, all of that. But actually accessing and using that information can be, well, a pain. Now, imagine building a Copilot agent that acts as a gateway to that knowledge. Employees could just ask the agent questions right in Teams, and it would pull the relevant info from SharePoint, synthesize it, and deliver exactly what they need.
Wow, that would be a game changer for internal knowledge sharing, not to mention decision making. It's like having this always-on expert who can instantly tap into your company's entire knowledge base.
Exactly. And that's just one example. Businesses are already using Copilot agents to automate stuff like onboarding new employees, generating reports from multiple data sources, even proactively identifying and mitigating potential risks.
So we're talking about a significant shift in how work gets done. But let's get real for a second. All of this sounds amazing, but what are people actually saying about Copilot? Are these tools living up to the hype?
You're right to be skeptical. It's still early days, but the initial feedback is incredibly positive. Microsoft is reporting a 60% quarter-over-quarter growth in Copilot users.
60%.
Wow.
Whoa, that's a lot of people saying yes to AI. But are they actually seeing results? I mean, are they more productive? Are they saving time? That's the kind of stuff that really makes a difference.
The numbers are definitely compelling. Honeywell, for example, found that their employees were saving an average of 92 minutes per week by using Copilot.
Wait, seriously? That's over an hour and a half of reclaimed time every week. Think about what you could do with all that extra time.
Exactly, and that's just one company. Another interesting case study was Finastra, this financial software company. They used Copilot to streamline their marketing content creation process, and they were able to reduce their production time from 3 months to less than 1.
Okay, that's not just saving time, that's a complete transformation. It really does sound like Copilot is living up to the hype. Increased productivity, time savings, happier employees.
Hmm.
But there have to be some downsides, right? I mean, it can't all be sunshine and rainbows.
You raise a valid point. While the potential benefits are significant, it's important to approach any new technology with, a healthy dose of critical thinking. Remember, these are still early days, and it's essential to consider potential drawbacks alongside the benefits.
So what kind of drawbacks are we talking about? What should people be aware of? Data privacy is the first thing that comes to mind. I mean, we're talking about giving this AI access to our emails, our documents, even our meeting transcripts. What's the story there?
Yeah, that's a valid concern for sure. Microsoft does say that Copilot's data access is strictly for, making it work within Microsoft 365. Like,
Right.
they claim it's not using your data to train its AI models or anything.
Okay, but should we just take their word for it?
Well, probably not blindly, right? It's always smart to stay informed about their data handling policies and make sure they actually align with your own organization's security standards and all that.
That makes sense. What else should we be thinking about?
Accuracy is another big one. I mean, Copilot is pretty amazing. It really is, but it's still learning, right?
Right.
So if you rely completely on AI-generated content without, like, a human double-checking, you could end up with some errors, especially in areas that need a bit of nuance or specific expertise.
It's like trusting your GPS completely, even when it tells you to turn into a lake.
Exactly. We can't let the convenience factor overshadow good old-fashioned human judgment. And that brings us to a bigger point, this risk of, like, over-reliance. Copilot's super powerful, no doubt, but it shouldn't replace our own critical thinking skills.
Right. It's a tool, not a replacement for us.
Exactly.
So it's about finding that balance. Like, how do we leverage AI to actually enhance what we do without becoming overly dependent on it? Sounds like a tightrope walk.
It is. It's a real balancing act.
But with all this talk of AI integration and the impact on the way we work, it really makes you wonder, what does this all mean for the future?
The million-dollar question right there. It's fascinating, isn't it? Like, if AI starts taking over all the routine tasks, the mundane stuff, it frees us up, in theory, to focus on things that require more, higher level thinking, things like creativity, problem solving.
It's both incredibly exciting and also a little bit intimidating. Like, imagine a world where we're not bogged down by busy work and can actually lean into those things that make us uniquely human.
I know. It's a total paradigm shift. This isn't just about, getting used to a new app. It's about adapting to a world where AI is a given.
Yeah.
And honestly, the potential is huge, but it requires us to be aware and adapt and honestly evolve alongside these technologies.
It's a lot to wrap our heads around.
It really is.
Well, this has been an eye-opening deep dive for sure. From spreadsheets that practically run themselves to AI-powered meetings and emails that write themselves, we've covered a ton of ground. And one thing's for sure, Microsoft 365 Copilot has the potential to completely reshape the way we work, offering huge time savings, boosting productivity, and even giving us all a chance to focus on the parts of our jobs that we actually find fulfilling.
I think that's the key takeaway here. AI isn't some futuristic fantasy anymore. It's here, right now. It's in the tools we use every single day. So the question isn't really if we should embrace it, it's how we can leverage it thoughtfully, ethically, to create a future of work that, actually benefits everyone.
And on that note, we'll leave you with this thought. If this Copilot could actually take care of your entire to-do list, what would you do with all that extra time and energy? What passions would you pursue? What kind of impact would you make? It's something to think about as we all navigate this exciting new frontier of AI-powered work.